Welcome to Illuminati Silver's Inner Sanctum, where we tell the truth about precious metals, banking, economics and politics. Today is Thursday the 22nd of November 2018, and we're asking the question, will gold ever be used to support a world currency? Yesterday we produced a video entitled Silver Will Never Be Used to Support a World Currency, but does the same apply to gold? Well, first of all, the surrounding characteristics are similar. In terms of notes and coins in circulation, there are approximately $7.6 trillion in existence. In terms of all bank, deposit accounts and notes and coins, the figures rise to $90.4 trillion. In terms of global debt, $215 trillion has to be covered. And in terms of derivatives, using low-end approximations, we have $554 trillion to be covered. So all in all, we're looking at covering approximately $850 trillion by gold or some other medium. Okay, so how much above ground gold exists on the Earth? Well, the World Gold Council estimates that all the gold ever mined totals 187,200 metric tons in 2017. But other independent estimates vary by as much as 20%. This equates to a little over 6 billion ounces. And at today's price of $1,227 an ounce, this equates to just over $8 trillion. So, we have $8 trillion of gold to underwrite, $850 trillion of monies, debt and derivatives. And that's a conservative estimate of derivatives, which are purported potentially to be twice that amount. However, even using the lower figure, all the gold in the world, and remember as the example we gave with silver, this covers everything from small amounts in technological appliances all the way up to gold bars and coins and statues, etc., etc. So for gold to cover this $850 trillion, it would have to rise in value by 106 times. In other words, gold resting around a value of approximately $130,000 an ounce. Now once again, just imagine what will happen to the price of goods if gold rose by that figure. Now, of course, this is just basing it on all of the gold mined in the world. If central banks and governments actually wanted to hold these gold assets within their vaults, they would have to confiscate all of the physical gold holdings held by investors and central banks, which is currently worth approximately $3 trillion. According to the World Gold Council. So if they used that $3 trillion worth of gold to cover all derivatives, debts and monies, we are now looking at a gold price of $347,000 an ounce. Once again, this is simply not going to happen. There is no way that manufacturing industry can survive a gold price at this level. So even if all the debts and derivatives were covered by gold at, say, a rate of 10%, which sounds more reasonable, we would still have to see gold at $34,000 an ounce. Again, not a likely scenario, and let's be totally frank, this is with central bank confiscation of all gold coins and bars worldwide, which simply is not going to happen. As with silver, we would also need to see gold come out of the ground at a rate of growth of around 3% to account for GDP growth and population increases. And one has to ask, how feasible is this? And for how long can it be sustained? And again, what will happen when gold eventually runs out? So the likelihood of the world adopting a gold-backed currency is extremely slim. However, we can foresee some countries adopting a partial backed gold currency. And of course, if there was an economic reset and all debts and derivatives were written off, then a new currency could be formed with a limited level of gold backing. However, the carnage that such a debt jubilee or reset would cause, no one could accurately predict the outcome or its consequences, as fund values would indeed collapse, and those relying on pensions and investments could indeed suffer considerably. The natural response to this argument, of course, is, well, why are central banks buying or even holding gold? The answer, frankly, is that in the event of a currency meltdown, it is one of the few commodities that could be exchangeable with other countries for credit or goods. But if you look at the levels of central bank gold holdings, they are pitiful when compared to the amount of currency they have in circulation, let alone the level of debt instruments they are obligated to repay. It is feasible, and just feasible, that one day a new system will be introduced, more like a crypto-type currency, or a certain digital currency, or perhaps an off-the-wall atomic currency, which may have some element of gold and or basket of commodity backing. But we would venture once again, this would likely be a relatively low percentage, and would over time, like all fiat currencies, find the need to accelerate its growth increase and ultimately eventually collapse. It is really always just a matter of time and how long it can be endured. Meanwhile, please do comment on this argument we've put forward, whether you agree or not, and if you find a loophole, then please express or reveal it, for we shall be more than interested to see or hear it.
Disclaimer. Illuminati silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.